The impossible discovery. The patrol fleet's routine day. Commander Zelthax adjusted his position in the command chair of the Imperial Dreadnought Sovereign's Will. The massive warship was part of a routine patrol fleet consisting of 12 vessels, cruising through the outer territories of the Galactic Empire. These patrols were usually boring affairs, meant more to show Imperial presence than to engage in actual combat. The Empire had been the dominant force in the galaxy for over 3,000 years, and most species knew better than to challenge their authority. "Sir, we're detecting an unknown vessel on long-range scanners," reported Lieutenant Corvus from the sensor station. The young officer's voice carried a hint of curiosity rather than concern. Unknown ships were rare but not unheard of in the outer territories. Zelthax's 4 eyes focused on the main display screen. Classification and size estimate. "That's the strange part, Commander. The ship is massive, approximately 15 kilometers in length. Our computers can't match it to any known vessel design in our database." 15 kilometers. Zelthax felt a chill run through his scaled skin. Only a handful of species in the galaxy could build ships that large, and they were all either part of the Empire or had signed non-aggression treaties. "Are you certain about those readings?" "Verified 3 times, sir. The vessel appears to be holding position near the 4th planet of this system. Set course to intercept. Signal the rest of the fleet to maintain standard formation." Zelthax leaned forward in his chair. In his 40 years of service, he had seen many things, but a ship of that size from an unknown species was definitely not one of them. First visual contact. As the Imperial fleet approached, the mysterious vessel came into visual range. What they saw defied all expectations. The ship was indeed massive, but its design was unlike anything in Imperial records. Instead of the smooth, organic curves favored by most advanced species, this vessel had angular geometric shapes. Its hull appeared to be made of some kind of dark metallic material that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. "Commander," Corvus called out, his voice now tinged with disbelief, "I'm reading energy signatures that don't match any known power source. The vessel appears to be generating more energy than should be physically possible for its size." Zelthax studied the ship through the viewscreen. It was beautiful in a harsh, intimidating way. Weapon ports were visible along its hull, but they were designs he had never seen before. "Any response to our hails?" "Negative, sir. The ship is maintaining complete communication silence." "Sir," interrupted Science Officer Vantok from his station, "I've been analyzing the hull composition. The material signatures are indicating this might be a human vessel." The bridge fell silent. Every member of the crew turned to stare at Vantok in disbelief. "That's impossible," Zelthax said slowly. "Humans are barely capable of interstellar travel. Their largest ships are maybe 200 meters long. They use primitive fusion drives and basic metal alloys." Vantok checked his readings again. "Sir, I've run the analysis 4 times. The electromagnetic signature, the construction materials, even the geometric design patterns all match human technological fingerprints. But this ship displays capabilities far beyond anything humans should possess." The database check. Zelthax called up the Imperial database on humans. The file was relatively short, as humans were considered a minor species of little importance. According to the records, humans had achieved faster-than-light travel only 75 years ago. Their technology was primitive by galactic standards, their military was weak, and their expansion into space was slow and cautious. The Empire had made contact with them 50 years ago, and had classified them as a developing species with no significant threat potential. "This information must be outdated," Zelthax muttered. "But how could they have advanced so rapidly without our knowledge?" "Commander," Corvus interrupted, "the vessel is powering up its engines. It's beginning to move." On the screen, the massive human ship slowly turned toward the Imperial fleet. Despite its enormous size, it moved with surprising grace and speed. The ship's engines produced a strange blue-white glow that Zelthax had never seen before. Red alert. All ships to battle stations, Zelthax ordered. Signal the unknown vessel. Identify yourself and state your intentions. For several tense minutes, there was no response. Then, suddenly, the communications board lit up with an incoming transmission. First contact confusion. The voice that came through the speakers was unmistakably human, speaking in clear galactic standard. Imperial Fleet, this is Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Force vessel Prometheus. You are requesting identification in neutral space. May I ask what gives you the authority to make such demands? Zelthax was stunned. Not only was the human speaking perfect galactic standard, but her tone was confident and slightly challenging. This was not how humans were supposed to behave when confronted by Imperial forces. This is Commander Zelthax of the Imperial Navy. You are in a sector under Imperial protection. All vessels must submit to inspection and registration. There was a pause before Captain Chen responded. Commander, I'm afraid you're mistaken. This system is not listed in any Imperial territory claims in our database. We are conducting peaceful exploration under the terms of the Galactic Accords for free navigation. Zelthax's confusion deepened. Humans weren't supposed to have detailed knowledge of galactic law, let alone quote specific accords. Captain Chen, according to our records, human vessels are not capable of deep space exploration at this level. How did you construct a ship of this size and capability? Another pause. Then Captain Chen's voice came back, and Zelthax could hear what sounded like amusement. Commander, with respect, your records appear to be significantly out of date. Perhaps we should arrange a more formal meeting to discuss this misunderstanding. The boarding attempt. Zelthax decided to test the situation. Captain Chen, I'm ordering my boarding teams to inspect your vessel for compliance with Imperial safety regulations. I'm afraid I cannot allow that, Commander. The Prometheus is a sovereign Earth vessel, and we do not recognize Imperial authority in neutral space. Captain, you don't understand. The Imperial Navy has the authority to inspect any vessel in this sector. If you refuse, we will consider your ship hostile and respond accordingly. Commander, Captain Chen's voice became more serious. I strongly advise against any aggressive action. The Prometheus is equipped to defend itself. Zelthax almost laughed. A single human ship, even a large one, against 12 Imperial warships. Captain, you have one ship. I have 12. Stand down and prepare to be boarded. Commander, I have one ship. You're right about that. But you're making assumptions about what this one ship can do. The demonstration. Zelthax signaled his tactical officer. Launch boarding shuttles. All ships target the human vessel's engines. Disable only. Do not destroy. The Imperial fleet opened fire with precision beam weapons designed to disable rather than destroy. The energy beams struck the Prometheus across multiple points on its hull. But instead of the expected damage, something incredible happened. The beams seemed to be absorbed by the ship's hull, which began to glow with a soft, pulsing light. Sir, Corvus called out in panic, our weapon's fire is being absorbed completely. No damage detected on the target vessel. Zelthax stared in disbelief as the Prometheus continued to absorb the energy from 12 Imperial warships without showing any signs of damage or stress. All ships, cease fire, he ordered. What kind of shielding technology is that? Captain Chen's voice came over the communications again. Commander, that wasn't shielding. Our hull is made of smart matter that can convert incoming energy into usable power. Thank you for the recharge. Before Zelthax could respond, the Prometheus demonstrated its own capabilities. The ship fired a single beam of energy that passed harmlessly between the Imperial ships, but somehow caused every vessel's shields to simply disappear. How? Zelthax whispered. Our beam recalibrated your shield generator's quantum frequencies, Captain Chen explained matter-of-factly. They're not damaged, just temporarily unable to maintain coherence. They'll return to normal function in about 10 minutes. The impossible reality. Zelthax realized that everything the Empire thought it knew about humans was wrong. This single human ship had technology that surpassed Imperial capabilities in ways that seemed impossible. "Captain Chen," he said slowly, "I think we need to have that formal meeting you mentioned." "I agree, Commander. But first, I should probably mention that the Prometheus isn't alone out here. We have 17 other ships of similar capability conducting exploration missions in this sector." The blood drained from Zelthax's face. 17 others. Yes, and Commander, there are over 300 ships in Earth's deep space exploration fleet. We've been conducting peaceful missions throughout the galaxy for the past 20 years. We're surprised the Empire hasn't noticed. Zelthax slumped back in his command chair. 300 ships with technology that made Imperial vessels look like children's toys. How had the Empire's intelligence networks missed this? "Captain, I need to contact my superiors immediately." "Of course, Commander. In the meantime, would you and your officers like to come aboard the Prometheus for a diplomatic meeting? I think there are quite a few misconceptions that need to be cleared up." As Zelthax prepared to make the most important report of his career, he realized that the balance of power in the galaxy had just shifted dramatically, and the Empire had been completely unaware of it happening. The truth unveiled. Emergency session on the Imperial capital. Grand Admiral Theron paced back and forth in the emergency session chamber on Zephyr Prime, the capital world of the Galactic Empire. The circular room was filled with the Empire's highest-ranking officials, military commanders, and scientific advisors. The holographic projection in the center of the room showed the impossible footage from Commander Zelthax's encounter with the human ship. "Play it again," Theron commanded. For the 5th time, the assembled officials watched as Imperial weapons fire was absorbed harmlessly by the human vessel, followed by the demonstration that disabled an entire fleet's defensive systems with a single precisely calibrated beam. "This is impossible," declared Science Minister Valdres, his tentacles writhing with agitation. "Humans are a primitive species. Our last intelligence update classified them as barely capable of interstellar colonization." Intelligence Director Kraith stepped forward, her reptilian features grim. "Grand Admiral, I've been conducting an emergency review of our intelligence on human activities. What we've discovered is deeply disturbing." The room fell silent as Kraith activated her own holographic display. "Over the past 20 years, there have been 847 reports of unusual encounters with human vessels across the galaxy. Our analysts dismissed them as sensor errors, equipment malfunctions, or exaggerated accounts from nervous patrol crews." She highlighted several star systems on the galactic map. "In retrospect, these reports show a pattern. Humans have been operating advanced vessels throughout Imperial space and beyond. We simply refuse to believe what our own people were telling us." The pattern emerges. Defense Minister Gorvak, a massive warrior from the Krathan species, studied the data with growing alarm. "Director Kraith, what kind of encounters are we talking about?" "Human ships appearing in restricted systems without triggering our detection networks. Human vessels demonstrating speeds that exceed our fastest interceptors. Most significantly, human representatives making contact with over 40 different species, including several that we consider our exclusive allies." Grand Admiral Theron stopped pacing. "What kind of contact?" "Trade agreements, technology exchanges, and what appears to be mutual defense pacts." Kraith's voice was grim. "Grand Admiral, the humans have been building a shadow alliance network right under our noses." Science Minister Valdres shook his head in denial. "There must be some mistake. Our technological assessments show that humans still use primitive fusion drives and basic metallurgy." "Minister," Kraith replied, "I have video evidence of human ships performing maneuvers that violate our understanding of physics. I have reports of human colonies thriving in systems that should be uninhabitable. I have documented cases of human technology that appears to manipulate spacetime itself." She activated another display, showing a series of intelligence reports. 3 months ago, the Andromedan Trade Confederation signed an exclusive mining rights agreement with Earth. 2 months ago, the Vegan Republic requested human assistance with their failing terraforming project. Last month, the Centauri Alliance formally recognized Earth as a major galactic power. The investigation. Grand Admiral Theron made a decision that would change everything. I want our best science team to analyze every piece of data we have on human technology. I want our top diplomatic corps to establish formal contact with Earth's government. And I want to know how we missed something this significant. Dr. Xenith, the Empire's leading xenotechnology specialist, had been silent throughout the briefing. Now she spoke up. Grand Admiral, I request permission to personally examine the human vessel Prometheus. Permission granted. What are your initial thoughts on their technology? Dr. Xenith studied the holographic displays showing the human ship's capabilities. Based on what I'm seeing, the humans appear to have developed what we would call adaptive technology. Their ships don't just use energy, they manipulate it. They don't just travel through space, they convince space to cooperate with them. What does that mean in practical terms? Asked Defense Minister Gorvek. It means that their technology is not just advanced, it's conceptually different from ours. We build machines to overcome the laws of physics. They appear to have built machines that work with the laws of physics as partners. Direct contact. 3 days later, Grand Admiral Theron received a communication that he had been both hoping for and dreading. Earth's government had agreed to a formal diplomatic meeting. The meeting took place aboard a neutral space station in the Sigma Draconis system. Grand Admiral Theron was accompanied by the Empire's top diplomats and scientists. The human delegation was led by Ambassador Elena Rodriguez, a middle-aged woman with intelligent eyes and a confident demeanor. Grand Admiral, Ambassador Rodriguez said as they met in the station's main conference room, I understand there have been some misconceptions about Earth's capabilities. Theron studied the human ambassador. She spoke with the easy confidence of someone representing a major galactic power, not a primitive species seeking recognition. Ambassador Rodriguez, our intelligence indicates that your species has capabilities far beyond what we previously understood. How long has Earth possessed advanced space technology? The ambassador smiled. Grand Admiral, Earth has been capable of advanced space travel for over 40 years. We've been exploring the galaxy, establishing colonies and building relationships with other species for decades. Then why did you allow us to believe you were primitive? We didn't allow anything, Grand Admiral. You made assumptions based on limited observations and never bothered to verify them. We've been operating in open space, establishing trade relationships, and participating in galactic affairs. We simply weren't seeking the Empire's permission or approval. The revelation. Dr. Xenith leaned forward in her chair. Ambassador, our analysis of your ship's technology suggests capabilities that exceed our current understanding of physics. How did your species develop such advanced systems? Ambassador Rodriguez considered her response carefully. Dr. Xenith, humans have a particular talent for finding unconventional solutions to complex problems. While other species focused on building bigger engines or stronger weapons, we focused on understanding the fundamental nature of space, time, and energy. She activated a small device that projected the three-dimensional model of what appeared to be a completely new type of engine design. This is our space fold drive. Instead of pushing through space, it convinces space to fold itself, bringing our destination closer to us. Instead of fighting against the universe, we learned to work with it. Defense Minister Gorvak stared at the projection. This technology could revolutionize space travel for every species in the galaxy. It already has, Minister. We've shared variations of this technology with 47 different species over the past 20 years. The improvement in galactic commerce and communication has been remarkable. Grand Admiral Theron felt a chill of realization. You've been sharing this technology with other species, but not with the Empire. Grand Admiral, the Empire never asked. More importantly, the Empire's approach to diplomacy has traditionally been based on dominance and control. We prefer partnerships based on mutual benefit and shared respect. The new reality. Ambassador Rodriguez activated another device, this one projecting a holographic map of the galaxy. instead of the familiar Empire-centric view that Theron was accustomed to. This map showed a complex network of trade routes, alliance agreements, and cooperative relationships spanning hundreds of star systems. This is the actual state of galactic politics, Grand Admiral. While the Empire has been focused on maintaining control over its traditional territories, the rest of the galaxy has been building a new kind of civilization based on cooperation and shared prosperity. Theron studied the map in growing amazement and concern. The network of relationships shown here represented a fundamental shift in galactic power that the Empire had completely missed. How many species are part of this network? 137 species participate in what we call the Galactic Cooperation Initiative. It's not a government or an empire. It's a framework for mutual assistance, shared research, and peaceful coexistence. Dr. Xenith asked the question that everyone was thinking. Where does this leave the Empire? Ambassador Rodriguez smiled warmly. That's entirely up to the Empire, Dr. Xenith. The Cooperation Initiative isn't about replacing existing governments or challenging traditional powers. It's about creating opportunities for everyone to benefit from shared knowledge and mutual assistance. She gestured to the holographic map. There are dozens of systems where Empire colonies and Cooperation Initiative members work side by side. The key is changing from a mindset of control to a mindset of partnership. The choice. Grand Admiral Theron looked around the conference table at his advisors. The implications of what they had learned were staggering. The Empire could continue to operate under the old assumptions and find itself increasingly isolated, or it could adapt to this new galactic reality. Ambassador Rodriguez, what would joining this cooperation initiative require? Primarily a commitment to peaceful cooperation and mutual respect. Empire vessels would have access to our navigation networks, our technology sharing programs, and our collective research initiatives. In return, the Empire would contribute its own knowledge and resources to the common good. Defense Minister Gorvak leaned back in his chair. And if the Empire chooses not to participate, then nothing changes for the Empire, Minister. You continue to operate as you always have. The rest of the galaxy continues to develop and prosper through cooperation. Eventually, the Empire might find itself wondering why it chose isolation over partnership. Ambassador Rodriguez stood up, indicating that the formal part of the meeting was concluding. Grand Admiral, I want to be clear about something. Humans don't see the Empire as an enemy or a rival. We see you as potential partners who happen to be very good at military organization and territorial administration. Those are valuable skills in a cooperative galaxy. As the human delegation prepared to leave, Ambassador Rodriguez turned back to Admiral Theron. Grand Admiral, I'll leave you with one final thought. For 3,000 years, the Empire has maintained peace through strength. We're offering you the chance to maintain peace through friendship. The choice is yours. After the humans left, Grand Admiral Theron sat alone in the conference room, staring at the holographic map of galactic relationships. Everything the Empire thought it knew about the galaxy had changed in the space of a few hours. The question now was whether the Empire would adapt to this new reality or be left behind by it. For the first time in his long career, Theron wasn't sure which choice his government would make, but he knew which choice he hoped they would make.